My Mother at 66. By Kamala Das. Short answer questions. How does the poet describe her mother in the poem? Answer: the poet describes her mother as an old lady who has become pale, weak, and tired. She often dozes off and looks unaware of her surroundings, just like a dead body. Why does the poet look outside? What does she see from the car window? Answer: the poet feels sad thinking that her mother is growing old and nearing death. This painful thought makes her anxious. To divert her mind, she looks outside and sees young trees running past and children coming out of their homes happily. These sights reflect life, energy, and vitality. Why are the young trees described as sprinting? Answer: the young trees are described as sprinting because, due to the fast movement of the car, the trees appear to be running backward. This gives the effect of speed and energy. Why is the mother compared to the late winter's moon? Answer: the poet compares her mother to the late winter's moon because the moon in winter appears dull and faded, just like her mother's pale and lifeless face. It is a symbol of old age and nearing death. What childhood fear is the poet referring to in the poem? Answer: the poet refers to her childhood fear of losing her mother. This fear returns when she sees her mother's weak and lifeless face. She feels the same helplessness and sadness as she did in childhood. Why has the poet used the image of merry children spilling out of their homes? Answer: the image of merry children is used to create a contrast between youth and old age. The children symbolize life, joy, and energy, whereas her mother represents old age, dullness, and decay. What does Kamala Das do after the security check? What does she notice? Answer: after the security check, the poet stands a few yards away from her mother and looks at her carefully. She notices that her mother looks older and more worn out than ever before. Pick out two similes used in the poem to describe the mother. Answer: A. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. B. I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon. Cite an example of a contrast used by the poet in the poem. Answer: the poet contrasts the old age of her mother with the lively images of the young trees and happy children outside the car. This shows the difference between youth and old age. What do the poet's parting words and smile signify? Answer: the poet's words, "See you soon, Amma," express her hope and comfort for her mother. Her repeated smile hides her sorrow and fear about her mother's health. It also reflects her effort to appear strong and cheerful. Why did the poet say, "See you soon, Amma"? What does "smile and smile and smile" mean? What kind of smile is it? Answer: the poet says, "See you soon, Amma," to give her mother hope and reassurance. The repeated phrase, "smile and smile and smile," shows her attempt to hide her emotions. It is a painful smile, full of love, care, and hidden fear. The repetition adds depth and emotion to her silent goodbye. Describe the mother-daughter relationship in the poem. Answer: the poem reflects a deep emotional bond between the mother and daughter. The daughter is filled with love, care, and concern for her aging mother. She feels helpless at the thought of losing her. Their relationship is full of silent emotions, reflected through looks and smiles rather than words. My Mother at 66 is an emotional account of the poet's old mother. Discuss. Answer: the poem is a touching expression of the poet's feelings for her aged mother. She feels deep sadness and fear seeing her mother's pale and weak condition. Though she tries to divert her mind, the thought of losing her mother troubles her. In the end, she smiles to hide her sorrow and give strength to her mother. How does the poet's mother look? What images are used to show her aging and decay? Answer: the poet's mother is old, pale, and tired. Her face is compared to ash and looks like that of a corpse. The poet also compares her to the late winter's moon, which symbolizes fading life and dullness. These images highlight the signs of old age and approaching death. Why does the poet feel her old familiar ache? What is her childhood fear? Answer. The sight of her mother's pale and lifeless face brings back the poet's old familiar ache, the fear of separation and death. Her childhood fear is the fear of losing her mother, which now becomes real as her mother grows older. Describe the contrast between the scene inside the car and outside. Answer. Inside the car, the poet sees her old, tired mother who looks lifeless and pale. In contrast, the world outside is full of life. Young trees seem to be sprinting and children are happily playing. This shows the difference between the stillness of old age and the energy of youth. What were the poet's feelings at the airport? How did she hide them? Answer. At the airport, the poet feels a mix of fear and sadness seeing her aging mother. She hides her emotions by smiling repeatedly. Her smile is a mask to cover her pain and to give hope to her mother. What poetic devices are used by Kamala Das in the poem, My Mother at 66? Answer. Kamala Das uses several poetic devices in the poem. Simile, her face ashen like that of a corpse, pale as a late winter's moon. Imagery, visual images like young trees sprinting, merry children spilling, and corpse-like face make the poem vivid. Contrast, the lively scenes outside are contrasted with the dull image of the mother inside the car. Repetition, smile and smile and smile, is used to show deep, hidden emotion. Thank you. Prepared by K. Rajendra Prasad.